future Paul here. I think when I was carting some gun parts in, I was editing, previously some videos of me carting the gun parts after boiling them, and I don't know if I misspoke or whatever, but I figured I might as well actually just start here and maybe try to explain what this conversion process is. Again, not a chemist, not a metallurgist, just a dipshit in the garage trying to make stuff look nice. So I figured I'd probably actually talk about what this stuff is. So again, not a chemist. I barely passed chemistry 101. Frankly, the only reason why I probably did pass was because I just happened to be lab partners with my sister-in-law, and way to go, Lizzie. Fucking crushed it. So anyway, going over some of this stuff. Ferric oxide. It's red iron oxide. It's, it occurs when there's oxygen and moisture. It's bad. We don't like that. Essentially, looks like that. An old railroad tie. Red rust. That's the kind of the simplest way I can describe it. Chemical formula kind of looks like that. The best way that I can kind of explain it is when you compare the two chemical formulas. So this is essentially iron oxide. Well, they're both versions of iron oxide, but this one essentially being unstable when it's put on in an uncontrolled environment. It's not great. It's corrosive. Anybody who's worked on your car in the Midwest under it, it doesn't taste great. So either way, boiling it, I don't really know how to explain it other than it excites an electron and one passes from the pacifies or something like that. But essentially it converts your ferric oxide to ferroferric oxide, which is also known as magnetite. Whatever. It's also, everybody just knows it as black rust. Essentially what gun bluing is. And here's the chemical formula. I feel like when you compare the two, this one exists in its, it's happy, it's circular, it looks like it's self-contained. This one is long, it can attach itself to other things. Kind of the best way my dumbass brain understands it. Jesus, this is really going off the rails, isn't it? Anyway, I was noticing that in my video as I'm carting the 1905 or 1907 M1905 bayonet, that essentially in the video you can see I am figuring out the fact that this blade converted its rust that you couldn't really see. It's microscopic rust that was on the blade because it was in the white. It didn't have a finish on it previously. That converted to a black oxide, your magnetite. God, I'm probably really saying that wrong. But that I'm realizing that in the video as I'm carting it. I'm like, man, that really that looks dark, blah, blah, blah. So here's a shotgun that I have essentially rebuilt over, was it last 2 years or something like that? 3 years? I forget. I really need to do a video on this. That's way further on down the road. The point that I'm trying to get at is that this metal is in the white. There's no finish on it right now. So if I were to, say, leave this out in the rain, leave it out in the snow, bring it inside, and throw it right in a gun sock. All hunters have done it at once in their life. You bring it out, you take it out bird hunting you in the cold, you bring it inside, you throw it in a gun sock without letting it acclimate and wiping off the water that, it condenses. And that, you know, essentially oxidizes inside of a contained area with moisture, and it rusts. That's what it does. Either way, the point that I'm trying to get at is this is in the white. So eventually, the way to get about this is, you know, first you put some acid on it, you let it rust in a controlled environment, unlike an uncontrolled environment, and then eventually you get oxidation that turns black. Essentially, this is black rust, red rust, black rust. But you do this multiple times, and you do it enough to where you get something that, you know, looks like that. That is black rust from the 1970s over in Belgium. God damn it, this thing's pretty, but yeah, this is, you know, oiled. It's been converted, but I got another video of me, what it looked like before it was converted, and, you know, as I'm carting it off, and then, you know, just hitting it with some, I think what I had on this here for a long time is some air compressor oil, because air compressor oil doesn't have detergents in it. Essentially, I did all this work by converting red rust to black rust. It's still a type of rust. I don't want to put anti-rusting oil on it right away. I want to put oil on it that doesn't have detergents in it, that'll keep it hydrated from oxidizing to where it won't rust in the black style again, if that makes sense. God damn. Anyway, the point is that I'm not a chemist. I did my best at trying to explain that, and God, I hope I did okay. But again, the point of all this whole video series or whatever is just to kind of try to show you what I'm doing and how I do it, and kind of proving the fact that, like, there's not really, you know, any rhyme or super scientific reason to it. It's just, hey man, this is what gunsmiths have been doing for fixing stuff up for 300-400 years. So it's not, you know, it ain't rocket surgery, but also it's not the simplest thing in the world either, but it's doable. I would like to get to more videos of me carting stuff, but pretty much carting the stuff off, keeping it hydrated, oiled, put everything back together, and it's done. So that's it, man. Yay.